With the People's Democratic Party, PDP, considering the expulsion of the G5 governors, which is made up of Rivers State Governor, Mr. Nyesom Wike, Seyi Makinde of Oyo State, Samuel Ortom of Benue State, Ifeanyi Ogwuanyi of Enugu State, and Okezie Ikpeazu of Abia State. Many wonder what the fate of the governors seeking a second term in office and those contesting for the senatorial seats in their respective states would be. There's also a rumor about the G5 governors allegedly endorsing the candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Joining us on the show this morning to discuss the possible implications if the G5 governors endorse a candidate from another party, amongst other issues within the party, is former chairman of Lagos State PDP, Captain Tunji Shelle. Welcome to the morning show.
Thank you very much.
Good morning.
Well, Captain, Happy New Year, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Before we get to PDP matters and the G5 and the integrity growth, I would like your take on the statement by President Olusegun Obasanjo yesterday endorsing Mr. Peter Obi of the Labour Party, whom he says has an edge and has a thread tied to him. From the north to the south, and that he has big ears that can be pulled by people. What do you think of that endorsement? And his statement in particular, that this administration, the Buhari administration, has put Nigerians in hell on earth and has proved very stressful for Nigerians. I mean, you know the rest of the details.
Thank you very much. I think the former president, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, is very right to say that President Muhammadu Buhari has put us in hell on earth. But we have put that one behind us. We are looking forward to a new government that will address this situation. And this is what PDP is trying to do to rescue the nation from all the troubles that we've been going through in the area of economy, in the area of security and infrastructure, so to say. On the second issue of endorsing Chief Peter Obi, Peter Obi is a new phenomenon. He has made an impact. He's now a third force. Unfortunately, he cannot go far. He cannot get the required 25% in more than 14, 15, or 16 states, and he requires 24. So that rules him out of the contest to an extent. Chief Obasanjo has always endorsed one person or the other, and going back to history, I don't think any of them has won in an election. He once endorsed, even Atiku himself, he didn't win. He endorsed some state governors, governorship candidates in Ogun State, and they lost. He will endorse you without supporting you. When you are endorsing somebody, it means you supporting with logistics and what have you. Obi doesn't...
Obasanjo is a pensioner.
Yes.
They don't have logistics.
Well,
he's a pensioner.
You will say that, but everybody knows that not all pensioners are equal. He's a special pensioner. Can we...
All right, so he's a special,
leave it at that?
Yeah, special pensioner. A number of things you've said that he's endorsed candidates in the past, and I'm glad you've also admitted that he's endorsed your presidential candidate, Atiku Abubakar. In fact, earlier on this year, in February, your candidate went to see President Olusegun Obasanjo in Ota. Therefore, now that he's endorsed the candidate that is separate from yours, and they're saying he doesn't have political weight in that sense because he's endorsed candidates in the past, you know, bears the question then that why did your presidential candidate go and see him in Ota if he didn't really matter politically? But moving away from that and talking about issues that before we even go externally, you can't begin to fight external forces if you have internal forces, problems to deal with. And that has actually, unfortunately, dominated the PDP's headlines in recent times. The G5 governors. Recently, their trip to London, which coincides with the trip of the presidential candidate of the APC to London, even though the APC candidate has come out to deny meeting. But I'd like you to share with us the PDP stance on the G5 governor's trip to London and the outcome thereof, of a possible endorsement of and support for the APC candidate?
Well, the G5 governors have their own mission, and Governor Wike is leading the team. You will realize that the four of us hardly talk. They hardly make comments. They are being careful. G5 is not as solid as we think. Makinde has a governorship race to contest. He has to focus, and I'm sure he's focusing. He's careful and he's cautious. He knows the implications of digressing or being distracted, and he's taking it as such. The people of Oyo State know whom they want to vote for during the presidential election. Governor Makinde is just a member of the team, G5. You hardly see him make comments. He's very, very careful. On the other hand, the governor of Benue State is also being careful because it can backfire. The chairman of the party that is asked or requested or admonished to vacate the seat of the PDP chairmanship is from the same state with Autumn, Tiffy for that matter. So it's a dangerous game for Autumn to play. It's also being careful. You will see that the two eastern states governors are equally cautious and they are not making statements. All I see is that Wike is championing a cause which some people showed sympathy at the beginning, but it's like it's losing grounds. Is it a vendetta? Is it desperation? Is it hatred? Is it grudges? Or is it complaining? If he is dissatisfied, then these are issues that can be managed internally. There are conflict resolution principles in PDP that can help you solve all these problems rather than going to the press all the time. Every little thing, you travel to London, you come back, you grant press interview. It's not desirable. It's not helping him, and it's not helping the party. It's not helping the image of an individual either, because it will backfire. It has consequences at the end of the day. It's turning drama to some other people. So let's hope he will have people who will advise him, and he will use his own wisdom as an adult, a 55-year-old, to at least address the issue. We are not fighting. Politics is supposed to be a game of number, love, camaraderie, and you share opinions and help to develop the country, not to continue to go to the pages of the press, go to television and start fighting other people. PDP is comfortable as far as I'm concerned.
Well, the PDP Constitution, Section 58, says clearly that nobody can be allowed to bring the party to ridicule or expose it to the hatred of other persons or lower the party in the estimation of right-thinking members of the community, which means the Constitution talks about party discipline. The expectation will be that if people go against the party and they are members of the party, that they will be sanctioned. But Wike is saying that person does not exist that can sanction him in the PDP. And Chief Olabode George, whom you know very well in Lagos state politics, also says there is no way Atiku can go into that election without members of the integrity group. And that if he wants to do it, in spite of them, well, good luck to him. So what gives this integrity group led by Nyesom Wike this confidence that they are bigger than the party, if I may put it that way?
They are not bigger than the party. The group is not bigger. The party is supreme in all situations. That's why I said it could have been better to resolve these issues behind closed doors, not going to the press all the time. And I see it as a one-man show. The other four are not too aggressive.
No, there are others in an expanded group. You have Chief Olabode George, you have Professor Jerry Ghana, you have Mr. Donald Duke, you have so many other people.
Those ones are elders in their own respect. They hardly play major roles. Like I will continue to say, Wike is the champion. He is the one championing the opposition, and with time, necessary steps will be taken, but not sanctions. Nobody will sanction Governor Wike and others because it's not desirable, it's not necessary, it will cause a sort of distraction. So it's not advisable to do that, whether they go to press on daily basis or not. But I know between now and election time, things will get better. Certain things will happen, and Governor Wike and the rest will see reason why they have to come back to the party. The party doesn't have to sanction them, despite the fact that the party is supreme.
Interesting that you say that the party wouldn't
So they will
sanction
be rewarded
them.
for bad conduct.
No, you know, there could be implications and consequences. The consequences are graver if, at the end of the day, PDP wins in this election. And PDP is going to win, because I can see from my own forecast and the forecast of that out of the 6 zones, we will do very well in 4.
Okay, so what you're saying, Captain Shelle, is that it's very unlikely that these governors will be expelled or face sanctions by the PDP despite their anti-party activities. In the event, I know you're quite optimistic about them not, eventually coming to an agreement to support your presidential candidate. However, they've remained adamant that they will not support the presidential candidate of the PDP. In the event that leading up to the elections, as Governor Wike has said in January, which we've come into now, he's going to announce who is going to be supporting and also canvassing towards the elections 2023. In the event that it doesn't have to happen to be Atiku Abubakar, are you saying that the PDP will look the other way as they've done with Senator Chimaroke Namani?
You know, Governor Wike is not in charge of all the elections in the various zones. He's from the South, and his influence is limited to Rivers State, so to say. His influence is limited, and the votes coming from Rivers State is just about 3-point-something million.
So Rivers doesn't matter?
It matters. We shall only lose some votes, but we shall gain some with the sympathy from other regions. Because as he is playing his own card now, other regions are looking as if he is fighting them as a region, as a group, as a zone. So the sympathy will go the way of PDP in some other states, while he is hammering and working towards not supporting Alhaji Atiku Abubakar in Rivers State. We shall lose some votes, but it may just be marginal. In other states of the South, for example, the chairman of the campaign council is from Akwa Ibom State. PDP will do very well. Cross Rivers is still PDP state, despite the fact that the governor left for APC. It's more honorable to leave the party than to continue to cause trouble. The Governor Ayade left honorably, and life goes on. The governor of Ebonyi State left honorably too, and life goes on. It doesn't reduce the influence of PDP in those states. So if Wike wants to live on his own, it's better than all these crises that he's creating. But I know, like I've said before now, that the 4 other governors are cautious. They are using native intelligence to handle this matter, and it wouldn't affect PDP to a large extent.
Okay, maybe let's talk about Lagos State. I mean, the major opposition to the PDP in Lagos State, that's a no-brainer, is the APC. Since 1999, your party, the PDP, has not been able to dislodge the APC. Now the situation is further complicated for the PDP in Lagos State. The presidential candidate of the APC is a former governor of Lagos State. And he says, at the presidential level, it is his turn, Emilokon. And that there's nothing anybody can do about that. In Lagos State, I guess you also want to take Lagos State. But your candidate, Olajide Adediran, popularly known as Jandor, is also very confident. He says, he will take Lagos State. Do you see PDP taking Lagos State in this race? Because even if Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu does not do anything, he will attempt to hold down Lagos State.
Yes.
What are the prospects?
One thing goes well for PDP. We have an energetic, courageous, and indefatigable candidate. Very hardworking. I can see on your station on daily basis, he campaigns more than even APC, that is the ruling party in Lagos. And he has touched some areas that nobody has ever touched before. His team is working on daily basis and his campaign is robust. He has not called a larger, maybe rally, but we have penetrated a lot of places. And you know that the presidential election is coming before the governorship. Once Emilokon is dethroned, then things become much easier for our candidate. Our candidate is one to beat and is very confident that he will win. I like his faith. I like his belief in himself. And he's going to work. We are ready to support him. We are ready to back him. And we shall give him all it takes to win in that election, from word to word and from polling booth to polling booth. We shall do better this time. We did well in 2015. I believe we won in that election. We were denied. Before then, APC had been using the name of Awolowo. That's the mantra Chief Emilokon used to take Lagos. And at the end of the day, he used the power of money and some other areas I don't want to talk, like thuggery, violence, to intimidate. All those things are being addressed with the Beaver's introduction. The introduction of technology will help us to reduce the issue of violence, issue of rigging, issue of writing results. They've been writing results in Lagos in most of the elections. There are elections that PDP won in Lagos that they will ask us to go to court and then deny us the winning. And the death of Funshaw Williams really caused us a lot of setback. We hope such things will not happen in the politics of Lagos again. I think things are going to change during the next election, and PDP will be a party to reckon with for a long time to come after this coming election.
All right, so let's talk about structure in the political structure, PDP structure in Lagos State. I'm glad, and as expected, your confidence in your candidate's chances at the polls come March. However, we've looked at some of the important seats, the State House of Assembly, the Federal House of Assembly, where PDP doesn't quite have a stronghold. As Dr. Bati mentioned, since the return to democracy in 1999, it has been a battle, although unsuccessful for PDP. What are you doing differently? Besides the campaigns that are on television stations, what is the PDP doing differently to take, or to as much as possible, dig their structures here in Lagos State?
I'm sure APC itself is jittery. Our candidate came from APC. We saw that strength in him. We saw that confidence in him. And he's a strong character. He's daring. He can face them. Some of the candidates we had in the past were not as bold. They were not as courageous. They were not as daring. He's daring, bold, and courageous. And like I said, he has touched places. I was the chairman before. There are certain places we had not touched in the riverine areas. He has done a lot of work there. And with the performance of APC in Nigeria and in Lagos in particular, he has shown some of their faults, some of their weaknesses, some of the projects they did. The question had always asked, at what cost? The rail line was supposed to be delivered way back in 2013. Now, 2023, is it even there? It's just a campaign gimmick. Let's see it running. That's when I believe that project is completed. It is not. They will have done it in phases, and it will have helped the transportation system. These are some of the things our own candidate is going to use for his campaign. These are some of the things that he will do that will make a difference when he eventually wins in the election. We are working, and we are working quietly and silently, and we hope to win in the coming election. Okay. We will use what we have to get what we desire.
Well, Captain Shelle, you said the previous candidate was not as confident, so you are saying invariably that Mr. Jimmy Agbade, who had been the PDP candidate, didn't show enough determination, courage, commitment as Olajide Adediran, who is the current candidate, just to put that way. But you've been using the word we will support our candidate, But the big man in Lagos PDP politics, Chief Olabode George, he's a wicked man. Wike comes to Lagos, he doesn't even attend to you people within the party. He goes to the APC people and he goes back to his Port Harcourt. Where does Chief Olabode George stand in this gubernatorial election in Lagos State this year? Is he supporting Jandor, or is just a wicked man, although he says his own intervention is on the basis of principle and justice and fairness?
You know, I was the closest person to Chief Bode George. I'm sure everybody in Lagos politics knows about that, even outside Lagos. Everybody has retirement age, whether in politics or in private business or in civil service.
I hear some husbands even retire.
Yes, it's a natural phenomenon. So, you know, as you get older, things change. And you may not know that people are withdrawing from you. A lot of people have left Chief Bode George's camp. So, and I'm sure it's not deliberately trying to sabotage PDP, maybe due to his own conviction that he wanted fairness, equity, and justice. But he had wanted to be the chairman of the party before. He was denied by this same Governor Wike. He was the best candidate then, but they said they didn't want an old man. Wike was the champion of this cause. He went as far as wanting to introduce the greenhorn in Jimmy Agbaje to be a national chairman. He joined the party not quite 4, 5, 6 years, and Governor Wike chose him to tackle this same Chief Bode George. But by divine intervention, that convention was aborted. Wike again went out to look for another candidate in the person of Alimodu Sheriff, a stranger in the party. That attempt also failed. Then Governor McAfee former Governor McAfee was then made the acting chairman until a convention was done, and we had the chairman in the person of
Prince Uche Secondus.
Prince Uche Secondus. And who sponsored Uche Secondus against Chief Bode George? It was this same Governor Wike. It's like the party, if we are not careful, Wike will just suck all of us in and be the owner of the party. That shouldn't be. It should just reflect back, go back to his inner mind and change his attitude. That one will help the party, will help him. What does he gain if PDP loses in this election? What does he gain if Atiku loses?
Right.
But he gains a lot if PDP wins. He gains a lot if Atiku wins. That will be our
clarification, Captain Shelle, just before we wrap this up. You think Chief Olabode just should retire? He's too old for politics.
I'm not saying he should retire. He's an elder statesman. He's very brilliant, intelligent, and well organized. But there are certain things you don't get yourself involved in at a certain age.
So on this matter, I should take the back seat.
He should take the back seat. He's been advised severally by family members, by people like us who feel you have done enough. You are a shining example, but you are not always right.
Well, thank you very much, Captain Tunji Shelle, former Lagos State Chairman of the PDP.